Hey everybody, welcome back. So it's a gorgeous North Carolina day down here. It's about 50 degrees and raining. We are going to be moving the Prairie Dogs into a little bit bigger enclosure. And I thought you guys would like to see us getting them set up and spend a little time with these crazy little guys because we think our female might maybe, hopefully, be pregnant. So we may have some little babies. We're all on a wait and see right now. So don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss it. We'll be right back on Intrepid Exotics. Do you have a natural love for animals? Then come along with us as we explore what it's like living with and caring for some of the most unique animals on the planet, our reptiles. Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. So we've been way overdue for a prairie dog video here. And with the cage that these guys have been in, they've been way overdue for an enclosure upgrade. Especially since, like I said, we think our female might be, we're hoping, might be pregnant. And if she is, she's going to need a lot more room. We're going to have to be able to separate her and the male and so forth. So we're going to get them set up with a new one today. And prairie dogs are probably one of the smartest animals that there is. We put out a video a while back that talked about how they communicate. These guys have got one of the most complex systems of communication. They're very intelligent animals, and they're very emotionally bound to their owners and to each other. You really can't keep them by themselves because, yeah, you can see the female down here. She's really territorial right now. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm going to bump this down so you can get a really good look at her. See, she is really territorial, and she does really good most of the time. But it's another reason why we're thinking that she might be pregnant, because she has got a really big mean streak that she's developed here recently. You come close to her house and she gets really defensive about it. See, she gets really mad. And the male down there, of course, he's back there taking a nap. So we're hoping maybe, getting her in there, getting her in a little bit more space and so forth, and give her a more secluded nesting area. Maybe that'll help calm her down a little bit. And one thing you guys will notice, of course, it's a steel enclosure right here. Everything these guys have has got to be steel because they will eat through. It's okay. We're just sitting here talking. And you can hear her with that little chirping right there. It's a really frustrated chirp. She's going to be really happy when I'm out of her hair and not sitting right here next to her house. But you've got to keep these guys in steel. Anything that's not steel, they will chew right through. They're like little pocket beavers. One thing that we have found that they tend not to shred, actually, is fleece. So there's some fleece blankets in there, and they tend to nest really well in that. If you put anything, terry cloth towels, anything else, they will just absolutely shred it. Oddly enough, when I first came in here today, I was scratching on her cheeks and she was all happy. They are very temperamental though. They're really, really emotional animals, and they will actually react differently depending on how long it takes you to pay attention to them. Once you come in here, if you walk right into the room and just start paying attention to this girl, she does okay. Now we've got the hedgehog in here too. And if you walk over and start paying attention to the hedgehog first, she will be very angry with you. So it's okay. It's okay, girl. It's okay. See, just gotta watch it. She'll act really sweet there for a minute and then go for that nip. Poor girl. And he's just laying over there really wishing that she would cheer up. I'm gonna go ahead and get the big enclosure brought in here, and we're gonna start setting that up. and then we'll get these guys out. I'm going to be really careful moving the female here because she's, as you can see, she's really grumpy. And she's actually bitten me last time I handled her. And I've been bitten by some snakes, and that was every bit as bad. She's got some really long, powerful teeth in there, and yeah, it hurt. But, so yeah, we'll go get that and get them set up. And it's going to be okay there, little girl. We're going to get you a new house. Just be easy. So excuse the lighting in here. This is living room set up for comfort, not as a studio. So, but I did want to show something that we did, and we're going to try this and see if it works. This particular enclosure that we're using has got these plastic trays, and like I said earlier, anything that's not steel, these guys will chew up and shred, and they've shown an aversion to chewing up fleece. So we're hoping these fleece blankets here were made into sleeves for this. So we're going to go ahead and set these down in there like that, hoping that maybe the texture of this will dissuade them from chewing through the platforms. We have another enclosure here, and this is about twice the size of what those two are in right now. So, like I said, we've got the tray down here on the bottom. We've already lined with fleece. You know, keeping our fingers crossed that they're gonna not chew through that because of the fleece on it, but we will see. So these enclosures are all really easy to work with, really modular. You know, this thing right here, it'll all disassemble, flatten up really nicely when it comes time to move it. But we won't need to move it for a while. We're gonna have, let's put this over here. And these guys are really adept climbers too. You will see them when you get them out and they start running around. They are just up on top of everything. They've got pretty bad depth perception though. So they, you'll see them taking some unusually high little plunges to get down, and they just kind of plop and roll around. So you got to keep an eye on them that they don't get too high up in the air and hurt themselves. So just stretched out over here. And again, we're really hoping that this idea of the fleece on this does help prevent them from chewing through this too much. We shall see. It's just like any other idea. We'll have to evaluate it and adjust accordingly depending on how they behave with it. As mischievous as these guys are, I'm pretty certain we'll have to adjust fire. And one thing that I really like about this particular enclosure is the way this little ramp right here is set up. Is it'll latch right here, so it'll actually separate the top and the bottom sections. So when we put it down, gives them the opportunity to get up there. We can lock it back up here, and we've got two different sections on this enclosure. So that. And we're going to try, I know I said everything that goes in there needs to be steel. We're going to try this for their litter. Absolutely no idea whether it's going to last more than a couple days, but we're going to give it a shot. So this is as much of the setup as we're going to do out here. I'm going to close this thing up, we're going to take and transfer their bedding and food and water bowls and stuff like that in here and get them moved in. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start getting some of their stuff transferred over into here. And if you guys are anything like me, a lot of times the parts for all of this stuff can end up getting lost. If you lose the bracket for your water bowl, you take a little metal coat hanger, just kind of bend the ends of it down. It takes a little while to get the size right, but it works just as good. Put this over here. Go. Actually, I think we might want that just a little bit higher. Should be all right. So since the female here and I haven't been the best of friends lately, I'm going to bribe her. And one of their favorite treats is banana chips. So we'll see if we can make them a little happier before we start moving them out. You want one? Somebody wants one. Nobody wants one? Come out? Okay, so we'll see how good of friends we can make with the little female here and get her moved over. Here you go, sweetie. Come on. There you go. Alright, so far so good. No, you get back in there, bud. And one thing you guys will notice on this old cage here is it's got the pretty wide bars right here. And of course they can't get out of it. I put this finer mesh around the bottom because these guys have got this habit of once they get their bedding in there and they start shredding it, they like to kick it all out of their enclosure. So if you put something a little finer around the bottom right here, it'll help maintain that and hold some of that stuff in. And the critter room back here, we've still got dressers and stuff like that back here, so I put a little bit of lattice up there just to keep these guys from crawling underneath everything. And one thing that's good to put under the cages, since this is a carpeted room, is a remnant of linoleum right under the cage. It really helps protect carpeting and stuff underneath, makes it a lot easier to clean up. So now these guys are getting ready to get moved over, and they look so happy. It's all new. I got new stuff to play with. And another thing that we do here as well is it gets a little chilly in here for these guys, so we've got a space heater. And if you're wanting to put a space heater down on carpeting, One, it's a little bit safer to have it down on a tile like this, and some of them, if the tip sensor is really sensitive on it, they won't even stay on carpeting because it won't keep them flat enough. So if you've got a space heater that you use it on carpeting, just a little 12 by 12 tile or one big enough to accommodate the bottom of it, it works really well. Plus it gives it good insulation between the heater and the carpet. So just a thought. So this is a really good change for these guys. This enclosure is a lot bigger for them. It's going to give them a lot more opportunity to exercise and multiple levels for them to run up and down. And as you can see, they're already checking stuff out. One thing that we're thinking about doing is putting in a chinchilla wheel, like one of them 12-inch diameter wheels for them to run on. Gonna see how it works. Like I said, anything plastic in there, they've got a tendency to chew up and destroy. So maybe they'll actually use that and not eat it. And one thing to mention too with wheels for these guys, if you put them in, it's got to be the ones without the spindle in the center, because they can get in there and it can hurt their back when they're running and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that the whole inside of it's open. What do you think? You feel better? You feel better now? No more room? There you go. Yeah. And these guys love paying attention to their cheeks. It's how they'll greet each other a lot of times, is going in and messing with each other's cheeks. And the food we have for these guys, it's a mixture of Timothy hay, and it has to be Timothy hay, not alfalfa hay. So you got to make sure that you're getting the right stuff. But we've got, the Timothy hay in there, and some pellets, some vegetables and things like that. They really love their banana chips, and they're really a big fan of Cheerios as well. Oddly enough. There you go. Are you finding your way around down there? And we're going to make some more changes to the critter room here pretty soon, and going to have a little better area for these guys to run around in. So we'll do some more videos of interacting with these guys. And, there we go. Somebody's already found himself a nest back there. Yeah, look at you. So these guys make really, really fun, really interactive pets, but it's definitely not going to be for everybody. One unique thing about prairie dogs is, even though they're rodents and they're not actually dogs, they do kind of have, in a lot of ways, that same mentality as a dog does. That dog's going to crave attention and affection from its owners. Kind of the same thing with these guys. They're really social animals. It would almost be torture to keep one of these by themselves. That's actually how we came into these two, because I had rescued one that was in a really, really bad situation. Brought him home and was nursing him back to health. And he had passed a few months ago. And while we had him, I wanted to get some others to allow him to socialize a little bit with. So we got these guys, and then it was a couple months later, he of course passed. But these two do really well together. They're really awesome. But you've got to make sure that you've got the time to invest in interacting with them, socializing them. And like I said, never keep one by themselves. These guys are really social, and they thrive on that interaction, communication, and so forth. Like I mentioned in the other video, I'll be sitting in my office next door over here editing a video or something like that, and every time I cough, I'll hear these guys bark back at me. And it's really cool. They'll get this really excited thing that they do when you first walk in, where they jump up on their hind legs and start barking at you and stuff. So they're a lot of fun. And right now these guys are going to be so much happier because I've got so much more room to move, and hopefully they don't chew through all the plastic platforms in there. We'll see. We'll do more updates on them, and there's more stuff coming with these guys. So don't forget, guys, like the videos, get them out to more people, and get subscribed to the channel. And I will see you next time on Intrepid Exotics.